Hello, welcome everyone. Sunday Shogi with your favorite Kifu review. Here we are. Hello, it's me, Karolina, and I shall be reviewing your games that you send on that form that Ken's just put in the chat if you wanna regain the link. Put the words exclamation mark Kifu. Bot will be very helpful and it's gonna give you the link. We're gonna do it in order of sending. Kent, did you send a Kifu last week already? Did we analyze it? I sometimes forget to delete the old Kifu from last week's. And I have your name there already. I have the one with H. Bayer that you played. Did we analyze it? I don't think we did. Yeah, I don't think we did, right? So we will start with that one. Yeah, cool. Then I see that we will have Contatti quest game. Okay. 43 moves. Okay, interesting. Eon's game from Lishogi. Okay, and Miva from Maple wanted me to share this game. We will watch it later. All right. We will go in this order. Hello, Yellow. How are you? So yeah, I decided that because I started counting how many book streams we made, it can be only a good idea to start counting how many Kifu reviews we had. So we will start with number 1 today. And the number 1 Kifu will be Ken's. Yay. Yeah, I have no ability of counting how many we did until today. So yeah, that's why I decided, hey, we could start counting from 1, yeah? Kent, I think I'm checking it 3 times in a row. Kent is sent, yeah, okay. Hi, Gabri. How are you? Kent. I've been playing the new game, the Rogue Legacy 2. I mean, it's the sequel to the game, and I had such a great run. I beat 1 boss, and then I was almost ready to start the second boss. And then I realized, oh no, it's stream time, and you cannot finish the run, because when you finish the run, you have to kill off your hero, because this is how the game works. And I was like, quickly, open the door and beat the boss, challenge the boss, and then he will win, right? And then I fight the boss, I took half of his life, and I'm like, oh my god, and then I kind of threw in order to get it to the stream. Yeah. Someone commented that the game turned around. Who was it? KR Poland Shogi Saito make epic comeback with this and won. I didn't see it yet. We could watch it as well. Technically, Sundays are like work days for me, but today my body decided that nope, we're gonna sleep late, we're gonna take a bath, and we're not gonna care about the world, we're gonna play games. And here we are. Yeah, I watched the game and it feels like, yeah, Saito won. Saito, sorry. It felt like Watanabe played really awkwardly. Like, I would say it wasn't his style to play like this, but who knows? Maybe he's like, it happens like when you're working very hard on improving your shogi, your usual style kind of changes and looks very messy and you start making mistakes, but that's part of the improvement. So I think maybe that's what's happening. Maybe he's like tired, I don't know. It didn't see like typical shogi, but also the opening was quite unusual, so maybe that's that. It's just my feeling, yeah. Yellow says current score is 2, Watanabe Saito 1. So yeah, at least 2 more games, yeah. 7 games, yeah. So first to 4, best of 4. Best of 7 means... Wait, how does English language work again? You need 4 wins, basically. Hope, guys, your brain didn't melt after yesterday's stream. The most amazing stream we had in a while with all the community together, but also the craziest shogi we played in a while. Well, hope you enjoyed. Yeah, yesterday. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, we did Bogyoku and Kyoto Shogi and all that stuff. It was amazing. There was a beauty in the craziness. Oh, Kent, what did you write here? You wrote... Maybe nice if I point this Kifu. Okay. Nothing specific. Let's see. So you put your king in the middle. That's quite not usual, and you're going for the Kifu shape here. You defend it with the bishop, nice shape. And you're gonna push here soon, I assume, to exchange the rook pawn. But before that, you're making another Kifu shape. Okay, so you don't want to waste time, because if you do that, you waste one move on bringing the rook back. Then you bring the silver up. And then basically you redrop the pawn. So you trying to maybe save time to go here. But then they do this. And then you exchange anyway, because you need space for silver. Okay. The opponent is using a technique to block climbing silver. That's one of the ways you can defend it. My question is this okay? I guess it is. Is it? Like, I can see this line, right? Where you go like here, 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 and there's only one defender for the knight. So even if you go here, you can like boom, bump in. Maybe that's your plan here. You don't know. So that would be like the main concern, like what happens after this pawn, yeah? And of course your quote was... I'm confused because there are shoes on my balcony, but Jean went outside to like unclog it, so that makes sense. It's just very unusual to have shoes on the balcony. And of course your quote, this is the worst game of shogi I've ever played in my entire life. Definitely, yes, yesterday. Yes. That if we don't use the terminology shogi, that would be a nice game, but if we put the tag shogi into it, that's definitely the worst game. Yes. I mean, the rule of that game was you cannot checkmate the opponent king, so you guys can imagine what kind of shenanigans they are. Like 2 kings standing next to each other, mate in one, and you have to ignore it because it's against the rule. Yes, that's definitely the worst game of shogi. You think it's alright. Yeah, but give me the reason why. Yeah, give me the reason. Let's say... What would you do even here? Perhaps try to cling to your rook like this. Because every time we do this and they do this and then we run, they're gonna like take our rook, right? I mean, positionally speaking, we are rook resistant. Most peaceful? Oh god, definitely not peaceful. Yeah, probably right, because, but how do you... so you would exchange the rook for the bishop, that's what you're saying. Prevent, yeah. I'm stupid. Actually, you cannot capture this rook immediately, because if you do that, the rook can promote. So we don't have a way to capture this rook immediately. Yeah, I was showing this variation of pawn drop, but if we don't drop the pawn, then the rook can simply promote. Okay, my brain started working. So it wouldn't be this simple. In the worst case, we can take the bishop, I mean. Okay, you take the side pawn, very aggressive. Okay. You're hanging the token, right? You're hanging the token here. So big piece to have there. I mean, this is mate, yeah. Yeah, Kent. You're, of course, crushing your opponent, simply speaking. Your idea was correct, right? So, guys, what happened in this game was simply this rook over here that was given away because you have this combo of like this pawn promotion here. So you want to keep the rook, keep the silver with language, brain, drink water, speak normally. You would really like to have the silver here, basically, to promote this pawn. And that brings pressure on this king. This king is in the center. But like it enables our attack because, as you saw, yeah, the bishop... in the process, the bishop got enabled as well, yeah? So that was really nice. And on top of which, we got this nice attack here. This is quite a nice trick to remember if you guys ever play like a normal static rook. If you ever jump the knight and then you move the rook, this usually becomes a weakness. That's a nice trick to know. If you push it here, then the rook can come here. That's the point. Once the rook moves here, that move is no longer possible, therefore this becomes a weakness. So it's kind of this unspoken rule. Thank you, Contetti. Unspoken rule of static rook and the knight balance, I guess. This, like, for example, this might happen in my experience, like you go for wrong diagonal bishop and you're trying to counterattack on the 4th line and you move your knight, they're gonna counterattack there because they have pawn in hand. Yeah, wrong diagonal bishop, for example, but also in openings like this. So our opponent has trouble because they don't have attack. They decide to go for this rook, but actually this enables your attack. The other problem is if we we are soon to do moves like this to enable ourselves anyway. We are able to do it at any moment. So going to passive also isn't the best. So this idea was great, but pawn drop maybe wasn't the best. What was the best? We don't have any attack. I would really like to jump this knight and like target this bishop. I would really like to have some form of engagement here. But we went really passive and enabled our opponent. Yeah. Like this move, like this is too late for. Okay, I guess we're afraid of this bishop on the edge line. But yeah, the fact that we have this huge talking right next to the king means basically that center is better. On top of which we have all the piece activation and double talking. So we got a free gold. We lost a talking, but we already got a free gold, so it's kind of huge. Free knight. Silver versus gold, freelance. So the material advantage is huge here. We could even go for moves like this, 3-10 checkmate here and target the silver, going for slower win. That is also a possibility. Of course, maybe we're afraid of this, but I think that would be good for us because we have a lance drop to like surround. Okay, let me slow down. Basically, this lance drop would 3-10 too many things at once. Knight 3-3 seems weird, block bishop and 2 metal. Yeah, that we could also argue that point. I mean, it's not unusual, perhaps, like, to do this. But the problem is Kent took this side pawn. Yeah. I mean, if it's bad, then it's bad, yeah. Kent level is 2 down. Kent, stop it. Stop it. Why are you 2 down? Why are you even 2 down? What are the games that you lose? I need to see. I'm gonna spy a little bit. Do you like chess? Yes, I do like chess. You're noob to done. Yeah, anyway. Well, melt like butter. If you play chess, you would assume chess is easier for you. I spent most of my days playing shogi, so I would assume shogi is easier for me. I know nothing of the chess openings. I can pretend I know tactics because those games are very similar. So it is matter of perspective, yeah, and matter of practice, yeah. So just to answer your question in very complicated manner, neither. Well, Go is the same principle, yeah. If you play a lot, none of them is like a difficult game. The only difficulty that shogi might have that you will find an obstacle to begin it is those kanji pieces. You can avoid it by using international pieces. You can find another difficulty by the lack of English learning material. This is why we're doing those streams to like make teaching content, yeah. But as a game itself, it's more complex, you could say, because we have piece drops. But yeah, matter of practice. No, I was born in Poland. I lived in Poland. I just had this dream of becoming shogi pro, so I did. Shogi, ladies professional shogi player. I became a few years ago. Now I'm back in Europe. All right, Kent. I really don't have much to comment here because, yeah, perfect play again. Well done. That talking was quite funny thing to like drop. But yeah, we commented, we explained like why did you have advantage? Yeah, how did you exploit your opponent's weaknesses? It was pretty nice example game for everyone to see. Thanks for sending. I know about Crazy House. Yes, it's too crazy for me because chess pieces are too strong. Like the pawn strength is so much different, especially when you can drop them. Next we'll have Contetti with a very short game. I don't know which side are you, Contetti, because none of them are your name, right? You didn't tell me which one it is. You're Sente, so shoo-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Gotcha. Whoa-la-la-la-la-la-la. All right, let's see this game. You guys see the board? We need to make it bigger? Unfortunately, it's the kanji pieces, right? But we're gonna go with it. I have to find out, is there a way to export it? Not really. Oh no, export button. Shogi quest. What is this? Is this Fen? Just out of curiosity, give me 1 second. Yes, I'm able to save it in Kifu. So let me try. You're sent this, so contenti, not contenti. Would you like to? Would you be like 2,200 in chess? I'm more like 1,800. It's just that, yeah, I don't know the openings, so I tend to get into disadvantage really early and then just win in the end game. And then the other times I get crushed in the opening, so it's not really... Okay, it doesn't work because it's Kifu. We need the other Kifu. Hacker mode. I need to use 2 Shogi programs to change the file into a working one. Okay, there's an error. So it didn't work. If I copy it though, copy, yeah, Kifu format, yeah, paste. Sometimes the problem is we don't have Japanese fonts, so saving the Kifu will break the file. But if you keep it in the program and then you just copy it within the program, yeah, it's gonna work. Is this the wrong save file? Haha! It worked. Yeah, that's what I did. I copy pasted it to Shogi GUI and then copy pasted it to Shogi for Windows to put it in the UTF-8 and then put it in 81 Dojo. I don't know about setups. Have to check that. The problem with Tsume is that you need an actual engine to solve Tsume instead of being a Shogi engine. Those are 2 different things, kinda. Yeah, Jen confirms that. All right, Contatti, let's see. I assume that was quick, Shogi. No, 10 minutes. Okay, so now we have two options to go for Yagura. Either you close here or you go here. In this situation, I would recommend... Oh, okay, both are possible. Yeah, if you wanna make it more secret and go for Yagura, this is of course safer because they cannot counter-attack quickly. So both are possible. Please stop putting the silver in front of the rook like this. I mean, I understand you wanna go here. Yeah, okay, sure. So what I like to do is... I see. Good move. I like to put my rook here so that if they take, I take and my attack speeds up. If they don't take, I take the pawn and I have a free pawn. The problem here is they have this bishop. We have two ways to prevent that, like silver or pawn push. You decided on pawn push, yeah? So you saw the threat, which is very nice. The problem here is perhaps they can take it, but then, again, we don't take it. Even if they take, we just move the rook. So then we take it. One move slower, but more power behind the silver, yeah? You decided to use the bishop here, really nice as well. They're gonna go and attack, you take it, you have your protection here. They have a silver in hand. So it's kind of middle game now, with the king in the center. We have to deal with that. It's quite scary, not gonna lie, quite scary. Got there, treat and promotion, then you protect here. You defend everything, and then Contetti. Excuse me. Excuse me. Forgot to take it. Yeah, I mean, clearly you had the bishop here. Yeah, you know you have the bishop here. You know it, right? You put it here for a reason. So, yeah, just don't forget about those. You have to push. Yeah. You have to take it with K, but then you're gonna lose the bishop, yeah? If you're fine. Bishop. I would take it with the bishop here, probably. I mean, if they take it, it's fine, yeah? We can pressure them. The moment they take the bishop, we have the counter attack here, so it's quite nasty. If they try to go slowly like this, let's assume we defend, they take, we take, they take, we have this. It's a check. And we can take it. Do we have counter check? No. They have counter attack. They do, but we have a mate in one. That's kind of like a funny way to like read the position. I mean, you're going for a fork and it's clear, but they can take, right? Yeah. Okay, fair. They can take, but then you have a fork yourself, and then you have a mate. Perfect. So yeah, your opponent... okay, question to the viewers. What is the problem that the enemy king has? And there are two problems. What are those? King shape wise, what are the two problems here? Can you guys identify it? Center and wall. Okay, maybe three problems then. Wall, yeah, so the wall is quite clear, right? The wall directly led to demise of the king, and yeah, the fact the king is in the center, of course, speeds up everything. But one more thing, right? The rook is very close. So this is this position that I always tell you about. If your rook is close to the king, if you attack the rook, they will have to move it. The same time, you kind of attack the king. And in this is a beautiful example for that. Attack on the rook puts the king under pressure and therefore leads to a mate, yeah? Very good example. Contetti, what can I tell you about the game? I think, so you just chose to go for an early engagement. I would perhaps recommend to move the silver instead of pushing the pawn. Because it defends the bishop move and it doesn't create a hole in here. It also gives you some pressure in the center and also kind of makes your bishop stronger, yeah? You have some control over this line. You can put it here or here, yeah, still, yeah. So it kind of feels wider. But your idea was to go here, which is also a great idea. But it, you know, makes some weakness here. If your opponent went... Yeah, I don't know why he moved, like, made this shape. This shape is bad, guys. The gold next to the rook like this, without no reason, that's a really bad shape. Don't do that. Yeah? Try to put the gold here, rather make the Mino castle. If your opponent, let's see, went here, for example, then it still would be quite a fight, yeah? We would go castle, but our bishop is in the open. They would move the rook here. We'd have to retreat, and they have control over this line already. So it would be still difficult, yeah? And yeah, this is quite passive. Yeah, so the problem was he had a wall, so he needs to delete it, yeah? Either by moving the gold here, moving the king here, something like that. I would go for slow development in this case, especially that you've blocked your own rook, yeah? Your rook cannot be active here. This is too aggressive, basically. Yeah, slow development, deleting your weakness is also very, very important in the middle game, in like this. All right, so thank you, Contetti. Hopefully next time we're gonna get longer Kifu. Gotcha, thanks. Like your opponent made more mistakes than you basically here. So well done, well won. Okay, Ion, you're next, and we have Lee Shogi study. Can I download it? Export. Sven. Give clone chapter Kif. Hopefully it's gonna work. Center got. Ion is, I assume that's Gote. No, Sent actually. Sent is on the top. That's weird. Okay. Sente. So Ion. Okay. Let's go. Your comment was, my only question is how hard will I get roasted for my bad play in the game? Thank you for the Kifu review. All right. Let's take a look what kind of bad plays you made. Shogi Club 24. Oh, no, it's perfect. It's a great place to play. What kind of format does Shogi Club 24 save it? I mean, Lee Shogi is good. I can like download the Kifu the same way I get it from 81 Dojo. Yeah, Lee Shogi is no problem. Yeah, no problem at all. It just, I think they had the Kifu, but then again, because we don't have the right formatting on our Westerner computers. They give a Kifu to copy, yeah. Then it's fine, it's fine. What was your opponent's strength, just out of curiosity? Nice. Okay. We are not taking it because we are afraid of something, right? But we've engaged here, so we have to follow up on it. This is kind of weird. It goes to pressure this rook, but they can just jump with the knight. And then pressure our silver, like somehow indirectly. Here it is, the pressure we were talking about. Pawn 7-5. We would push. If they take, we can check the rook. It's quite like it's gonna be a difficult fight. It's just I don't think we have the privilege of like backing off from the fight once we've started it. Kind of feels wrong to me. Especially that we have this perfect shape, but yeah, so this king looks like it's weak on the edge, but it actually isn't. It's a trick. This king isn't weak on the edge, actually. He has a silver on the head. You're trying to find an attack. Yeah, look what's happening. You're trying to find attack here, but your pieces are like blocked over here, and they're looking here. So it's all kind of uncoordinated. And your opponent has the ability of pressuring your bishop because, hey, static rook is fun. Okay, we have the knight drop, so that's nice. I think they could have taken it. Well, the weakness of your opponent's castle is like this particular point, which you did attack, so that's good. I mean, it is still like one of the weak points. It's just not as weak as you would think, yeah? The edge, you cannot break it alone. This head, if you have, for example, support of the bishop, that's gonna be a real weak point very quickly. But here you are attacking with lance and knight. Is that enough to do anything? Well, he gave you the knight, so because of him giving you the knight, it became to be something. But if you didn't have that knight alone, that's not much, right? And yeah, this is the point I wanted to mention. Look at your opponent attack, yeah? Lance, pawn, bishop. They all targeting your king quite directly, right? Right in the weak point. Pressuring, yeah? So this looks bad already. On the other hand, yes, you do have a horse. This pawn is far away, and you have a gold in hand. So that's 2 attacking pieces and maybe this pawn. This pawn I wouldn't call an attacking piece, it's too far away as well. The king still has many squares to go to, right? Very wide. Your king, on the other hand, not so much, right? So look at the difference of sharpness of those 2 attacks. Pawn drop 1-5 instead of... I mean, it still doesn't prevent them from dropping this pawn, right? It's like, even if you take this pawn, it's not like your king got much wider. Yeah, let's say the same things happen. This is the trouble, yeah? In Shogi, once you get the punch in, it's really hard to like delete its existence. So here, for example, that would be one of those punches, like your lance was forced forward, or here a punch would be the fact there is a space in front of the king. It's really hard to defend this space once the pawn is moved, right? Therefore, this is already a weakness, kind of. Yes, similarly, they don't have a gold on the board. You kind of expose that weakness. But as an outcome, silver... Remember that you sacrificed a silver in order to get this gold. So you gave away a knight, kind of, for free. So you are material behind as well. So all they need to do is probably to drop a knight here or something. To gain a total control over that line and break through. Again, it's something that you cannot easily defend, especially that you don't have the right pieces in hand. Yeah. Desperate check, we'd love to see it. Okay, so we now created space for our king to run. That's cool. The opponent will use that to his advantage, of course, and promote. This is checkmate threat in 5 moves. Silver drop, king runs. But if we go here, yeah, even if they go here, it's a gold drop. So it is a mate. What do we have? So in the process of this attack, the enemy gave us silver and knight. Yeah, compared to this position, he gave us silver and knight and a pawn. Can we do anything with it is a question. We are able to promote here, perhaps make more space to our king. They will be able to retake it with the knight keeping control there. So let's assume 2 silvers, 1 knight. They have a rook protecting here as well. We can make a check here at some point. We have those options, but they have a stronger threat than we do right now. So they're kind of 1 move faster, at least 1 move. My silver just blundered a silver. My opponent just blundered a silver. Meanwhile, in the game, my opponent just blundered a silver. I see. Yellow. It's like you know what you're doing, but you're missing something, and I cannot tell what. Like, you know what you're doing, but you're not looking at the right thing at the right time, perhaps. I think it comes with experience, you know? For me, I see this horse next to the king. I see two generals in hand. I know that it's very dangerous. Like, immediately, yeah? I just know it by experience. And you have to check if your king is safe. Yeah, there's a freaking horse next to your king. You have to check if it's safe or not. If you looked at this silver in the middle of the board, wow, like wow, your priorities are really messed up. Really messed up. This is not middle game anymore. Yeah, the second this horse promoted, that's end game. So your goals should have changed. Perhaps I don't know, you're probably in BOM and stuff like this, but the moment the horse got promoted, it's endgame, yeah? This is why you have those good instincts, like, oh, I should hurry up because my king is in danger, yeah? And you feel like, oh, I should find that Sume. But then you kind of forgot about it, which is kind of funny. Also, your opponent is very strong. Like, he played many call moves that normally we wouldn't play in Europe. Those, like the rook move, for example, like sacrifice without dropping immediately. Those are all moves, a good sign that your opponent is very, very strong. Thinking few moves ahead, yeah, not jumping into any threat that he sees. So it was quite a scary opponent to face. If I could delete the silver, then I can limit the attacking pieces and make him attack with only 3 pieces, yeah. So remember that 4 pieces attack is applied to a castle, so to 4 defenders. So if you have a singular king like this, chances are that less pieces is enough for him to win. So in this case, 3 was perfectly enough, yeah? In order to corner the king, basically you need 2 pieces, yeah? Because it's 2 versus 1. Having 3 is even better because you can sacrifice one of them. This is what we learned about in the book streams, yeah? Look what happens. 1 piece, second piece sacrifice, and 2 pieces are enough to checkmate the king. So this theory works in practice. Yeah? It works. So if you have a king like this, and he has already 2 pieces in hand, that's scary. Yeah? In fact, just the fact that he has this fork here is scary itself, but the fact that he can drop the pawn here as well is scary itself. This king has nowhere to go, basically. It's endgame. But it goes, yeah, that theory can be applied here. So you have no spare time for that. Yeah, you have to defend, but can you defend? Probably not. Probably not. If you drop the silver here, they're gonna drop a pawn. Try to, or even drop a silver here. Try to deflect your king further into this lance influence, right? It's probably undefendable at this point. How about this pawn push to get the rook working? Yeah, something maybe like this. Maybe it's going to. But yeah. King 3-7. Yeah, that also escaping early, right? Yeah, but basically main idea is if you play a move in the defense, meaning they have 1 more move in the attack, yeah? So as long as you don't have a counter attack, they can play attacking move, you play defensive move, they can play attacking move, play defensive move, and they're gonna win naturally, right? Yeah, silver drop. Yeah, could be. Yeah, the funny part is, if you play moves like this to enable the rook, and you are like, aha, it's not mate anymore because there is no gold drop. They can take this horse, basically. Yeah, so because the horse is on the line, it kind of enables them as well. I don't know if we should take this pawn or not, but yeah, those are details. I mean, this is checkmate threat, so maybe better not to take, yeah. Yeah, so something like this. This is why it would be probably losing. So yeah, we discussed about the king side, the differences, yeah? We talked about like opening space, like creating weakness by yourself. We talked about not coordinating the pieces, perhaps chickening out on this attack over here. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's successful, if you take it or not. But considering you created this shape, it would make sense to go for this line. Yeah, I have many painful experiences playing this shape. I know it's not as easy as it seems. But playing here basically gives away move to your opponent to do whatever he wants. Yeah. And what they're gonna do, because you sacrifice this pawn, they can pressure this pawn. So this is perhaps what you learned this game. You probably knew it already, yeah. And yeah, you also see Ken, the knight in the end, his knight was more active than yours. Yeah, and I mean, mid-game was pretty decent, so it's just that you are already a little bit in the disadvantage, at least material one, and then strategically too. He had you surrounded more severely, I'd imagine. It's still a long game because in Shogi, you know, it's not easy to decide a whole game depending on one or two moves. But he have taken some good points over here. Sometimes Shogi, you know, Shogi is like a mix between Go and chess, I'd say, because you do want to win, like, oh, queen sacrifice, boom, boom, you win, right? But sometimes Shogi is a little bit like Go, where you, oh, I played this move in the center, which means I have influence over the board. I've taken a point, yeah? Shogi has those points as well. Here he has taken clear point on the edge. That's his advantage. And then you have to like think out, how do I make that advantage bigger, yeah? So in this case, because I already made a pressure here, putting a little bit more pressure here makes sense, yeah? And that also enables the knight drop. So it's beautifully connected for your opponent. Yeah, Tenuki, yeah. Tenuki is also important in Shogi. Tenuki means to play a move in different side of the board, ignoring what your opponent does, basically. Yeah, Bishop 3-1 was really cool, yeah. I mean, the only thing you can do is... Yeah, there isn't much you can do. You would have to block your own bishop, right? Like, move you could try to do is like force him to come here and then try to delete the bishops from existence, like that. Could try that, but the problem is, well, the rook is here, yeah. It would be cool to like input this move prior, like if he forces you to go here. The problem is it also kind of enables the rook, and it's like this brings your horse closer to the king at least, right? Yeah, it brings you further away from the defense, but we're kind of missing that one knight. Yeah, it's in the opponent's hand. We'd like to have one more attacking piece somewhere. And this is kind of... why is it a difference because his bishop is looking at your core and your like isn't threatening this king. So this is why his bishop is better, even though it's a bishop, not a horse. So it's worth mentioning here. And perhaps you exchanging this pawn here, that wasn't quick enough. It didn't enable your attack as well. Right. Something like this would be very quick, very enabling. Yeah, he could take it, but this is why we would say that our attack is weak. Because we don't have a real follow-up here. Shogi is difficult, eh? Shogi is difficult. Here, yeah, there are moves like this too to consider. Like not thinking about taking a piece, thinking about limiting the king. Putting the rook here to get a silver in hand. Like this, for example, early on. Inputting those moves before we go for a hard punch, putting those light punches, spicing up the position. Those might be important as well. For example, perhaps situation, let's say he takes, he doesn't have to take. Let's say that we have a silver in hand, therefore this situation changes a little bit, yeah? Because the rook joined the attack, because the bishop joined the attack. In the line, pawn drop 6-6. Do I have bishop 6-4? I'm not sure what do you mean exactly, because this is attacking our rook. I mean, I don't want this silver. This silver is poisoned. This silver is poisoned. What I want is this horse to somehow enable my attack on this king. I don't want to take that silver. That silver is the most useless piece on the board. Yeah, if he enables my rook while I take it, sure, yeah. But if I have to spend like 2 or 3 moves to like take it, and technically it also enables your attack, so maybe that's not the worst, but yeah, technicality is, yes, the bishop defense power becomes weaker, and therefore, yes, you could consider something like that. Yes, yes. Yeah, well spotted, yeah. So the problem with this move is that they have this attack here. Right? So as long as that's fine, and I assume it isn't, it probably isn't fine, but... I mean, your rook is still here, so... I mean, so for example, yeah. Changing it a little bit so that the rook isn't here. And then pressuring your king further might result in something, yeah. Just an example, yeah. This would be a mate. No, it's not a mate, actually. It's not a mate, actually. Interesting. Hmm. Then you promote. Then you pretend to take it. Okay, let's just simplify it and like... Yeah. Let's just simplify it. Depending on the situation, it might be good for them. Because the silver was poisoned, yeah? Yeah, of course, like moves like this and then moves like this, boom, suddenly you're winning. But that takes too much time, yeah? It is strong, yeah. That's also, yeah, that's because, you know, they have more pressure on your king. Instead of taking silver by horse, sacking the rook for the bishop. So you don't have a follow-up here because we can just take it, yeah? Yes, it limits our attack, but the problem is, let's say we play this. The problem is that this pawn drop is very painful already. Why? Oh, because we let them exchange it moves ago. Silver takes, of course, means we break up the Mino. King takes and the same line kind of works. This time, you know, this is a check and this is a mate. Instead of pawn drop 5-4, gold drop 3-1, king runs to 2-2, bishop drop 9-8. Well, how about a pawn drop? Remember our good Lord and Savior pawn drop. It's still here. It's still waiting for you. Yeah, so this enables the rook escape perfectly from this bishop, yeah? And of course, that would lead to a mate. So, yeah. Unfortunate. I would imagine move like this rather to, like, you know, checkmate thread, boom. Yeah, it's a checkmate thread like this. This could be interesting, but pawn drop. Never gonna change. Silver takes. This time we cannot take it because we're losing on time. Yes, silver draw. Silver takes, for example, silver takes. We would have to slow down probably. Or just take. Pawn drop like this. Let's see what happens. Do we have anything? Not promotion runs to here. Unlikely, yeah? We are missing one piece, kinda. Yeah, the 3-3 square is a safe square for us. Yeah, but interesting endgame. You see how strong those singular pawns are, yeah? Our pawn is very strong. Pawn drop here is very strong. Pawn drop at the head of the king immediately, yeah? Tesuji like this. Those are amazing tesuji that's gonna like cheat a little bit. Even though we're missing one piece, perhaps it's gonna enable us to do something. But yeah, we were it feels good. We broke their castle. Our castle is intact, right? It feels good. But yeah, in the end, we don't have enough pieces to like work on it, yeah. Perhaps there is one trick that would work here. Somewhere a magical move and suddenly the whole situation changes. It wouldn't be surprising there is such a move. It's just that we didn't find it, yeah. Not sure about these openings. But anyway, thank you, Ion. Continue fighting, yeah. Shogi Club 24 is the best place for you to improve currently, I believe. So, waiting for your next Kifu next week, eh? Okay, next we have Mifa's Kifu and Melkor will be the last one so far. Okay, Mifa which is a 2-piece handicap, okay. And Melkor will be rated. It's normal game. Mifa says, my only game against... No. Oh, Melkor is playing against Maple too. Okay. Maple wanted me to share this game. I may not be able to watch it, but I will watch it later. Feel free to roast me, says Mifa. So 2-piece handicap. It is. Let's see how Maple is doing, eh? 2 piece. And this time we're going for a very tricky strategy that nobody likes when they're giving this handicap, which is called a silver tandem. This shape is called a silver tandem. It's very strong. All the pieces are now concentrated in the center. It's really hard for those pieces to be activated because the bishop line is strictly open. This is in most of the non-bishop handicaps, like keeping this bishop open like this, that's the main point. And by the way, guys, I really was thinking of making like perhaps YouTube series on handicaps. I have those 2 handicaps books, and I was wondering if like just showing 1 or 2 concepts per handicap would be a good idea. Because I wanted to learn a little bit about handicaps itself, but also like I was curious how to exactly explain to the beginner how to win a shogi game, yeah? So I thought handicaps are like the best way to explain it. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. If you would be, please tell me. By handicaps, I mean like literally from the highest handicap until the lowest handicap, like step by step. Studying those is very important, yeah? So here, technically, we could push this pawn and pressure on exchange, but that gives resources to the enemy hand. We might be... we did it, yeah, okay. We can put it back, yeah. Now this lane is open even further. It's a nice feeling. Mifa's side could try to like create this shape and enable the silver somewhat, but then we're allowing the horse. That's not really perfect, yeah. What can we do here? It's a really, really difficult question for Mifa, yeah? Handicap games are good for learning. Yeah, they are. They're maybe frustrating for us, like in Europe, for example, many players would refuse playing professional player on handicap because they would be like, well, not offended, but maybe we're used to even games and we know the Joseki and we want to try it out. But honestly, yeah, handicap games are really good because you have simpler positions, the enemy doesn't have all the pieces. And you just have to figure out how to break through. It's less pieces simplifies the position. Yeah, you can try it, yeah. If you're on our Discord, Kabit, we have this player. It's called Mifa, and he really likes to challenge any player like of any strength to a handicap game. There are also Lily probably would really like to play handicap games with beginners too. So if you are eager to play, yeah, there are many people who would like to play. Yeah, we have this pink called Wanna Play a Role. You can use that to ask people for a game. Oh, this is brilliant, actually. This silver move, like we're exposing this weakness over here. The problem is, even if, yeah, it looks good that we're taking this pawn to put pressure there, but we don't have a follow-up, yeah? We cannot drop the pawn, it's a Nifu. The fact also that we're attacking here, that's pretty nice, yeah? It enables us further. Rook goes down to delete the silver exchange weakness. Silver climbs. So this is kind of painful to do. We would like to go here. The problem is this pawn drop, yeah? It would be next to our king. That's what we might be afraid of. Pawn drop, we force them back. Our rook is blocked. We gain some time, sure. Yeah, bishop takes to not block it. Go back. And now, now we push it. Oh, we're gonna capture the silver. That's a nice aim. Okay, so Mifa is under pressure because he lost another piece, which is the knight. We're activating the bishop beautifully. It's just like wow over here. And now the middle game fight starts, yeah? We need something to break through. We drop the silver. I'm surprised because the bishop will be able now to promote, right? Like this. I guess if we take it, yeah, it's still very strong bishop. So we're using the time to pressure the bishop. The other move I would like to do eventually is to jump this knight. And you could argue that we should have kept this pawn to drop it there. Could argue that point. Yeah, but clearly black is putting great pressure here and Mifa has trouble like keeping it together. It's clear right now. Oh. Okay, so we have 4 pieces for Mifa. Yeah, he goes in. This is it wouldn't be bad to go slower here. Doing something like this gives a gold into enemy hand and let the king escape away. What I like to do is like keep pressuring that piece. For example, at the moment it's not really possible because they have the pawn drop. That's an issue. But let's say this, and then we can drop the knight, and this kind of indirect pin, so we can keep the pressure. Yeah, keep nice pressure. The problem is the pawn drop here. We would have to calculate it exactly. We would really like to play this, but again, the silver drop puts a pressure on our horse, unfortunately. Maybe this type of move would allow us to play around. Yeah. Because if we force our opponents to drop a piece, means they have less in the attack. So attack is the best defense in that case. Mifa knows a lot about handicaps, so I thought it could speed up and improve the project if he shared the workload with Karas and say, well, yeah, the problem with like creating content is you shouldn't depend on other people because what usually happens is you end up delaying yourselves. So yeah, it would be nice to have like Time Zombie to have his famous interview perhaps with Mifa about handicaps. But yeah, I would like to base it on the books again. This is interesting drop. Going for the end game, yeah. How is it made though? Ah, knight drop. See. Checkmate threat. Defending. Taking the rook. Oh, that's a painful check. The horse comes in. Horse comes in. How is it a mate? How is it a mate? I don't see it. Perhaps I'm blind. I don't see it, yeah. If we have 2 golds. I don't see it. He, she. The problem with Hishi is that we just gave away the bishop. So it would be nicer to like play it out. Hey Ninja, well, you can check category of the stream on the bottom and you can clearly see it's a game called Shogi, Japanese chess. And we are not playing, we are reviewing the games of other people. So welcome to Shogi Harbour, place where we learn about Shogi from a professional player who cannot find a simple mate. Roasting myself at this point. Yep, there is a bot command for asking about Shogi. Yeah, long time ago we set it up. Yeah, Shogi Explained sent you the link to Shogi tutorial video if you're interested, Ninja. Yeah, even if I'm not playing Shogi, it's gonna tell you what Shogi is. It's a very beautiful command. Yeah, I was wondering if it's a mate like this, perhaps, because if you go here, knight drop. Here would be like a mate, right? So I was like getting excited about this line. But silver drop king runs is what troubled me. I also was considering silver drop here to like get a better grip, but I think this square is more important. So I couldn't find a mate here. Couldn't find it. I was trying those lines. Maybe simple knight drop. Yeah, maybe it's this simple, and I'm just overcomplicating with pawn drops. King here, knight. Yeah, it's a mate. Okay, I overcomplicated it in my head. I was dropping the pawn here. Knight drop is working. I would like Mifa to play it out until the end, actually, unless it would be much better to like check actually if your enemy, you know, sees those. It's a good training as well. But yeah, a pretty good game from Maple. So I see improvement. The bishop promotion was the point, yeah. Here. This was like it was a huge move from him. The fact that we have this strategy of keeping the bishop open in the opening was nice. And then the proper answer, the proper attack, the proper answer around here. Maybe a little bit scary here, but silver drop here is like what breaks my mind. It's amazing. And that's what decided the game, basically. I'm from Poland. Meantime, Karo Sensei, I see 1 million something futures and you are checkmating in none of them. Yeah. So thank you for standing, Mifa, even if you're not here. And we're gonna go to the final admittance, how do you say it in English, from Melkor. He says, my only game against Maple played something I learned from Joseki at a glance, which is a book, but I wasn't accurate when playing it because I forgot how the initial position had to be. My middle game is kind of screwed up, but maybe still you can enjoy. So the problem with Joseki at a glance is, as you say, I think it doesn't teach you step by step, right? It teaches you, like it gives you position, what would you do here, rather? Which is cool if you want to learn some opening tesujis. But yeah, opening tesuji, that's what I would call it, basically. There is a ticket in here. Let me see which year is this ticket from. And this ticket is from 2013. And this book belongs to my friend, actually. I need to return it to him. I actually have a person ask me the same questions yesterday. I find it funny. Naruto manga is what made me play it. And I played on a website called Play OK. But then this website, which is 81 Dojo. Did I open the right Kifu? I think I did. Came to life. So now we're playing here. Now we're studying here. Then I went to Japan to become a pro. I became a pro. I came back to Europe. Here we are. Making career of Twitch donations. Yeah, Shikamaru, exactly. There was this fight between Temari and Shikamaru. And they mentioned Shogi. It was in the Chunin exam. If you remember those old Naruto scenario, right? I had the book somewhere here. I keep that exact book where I learned Shogi from, but I don't know where I put it right now. Yeah, and he used this technique of going under the ground and getting Temari from that sounds wrong. By surprise, yeah. Yeah, and then his teacher Asuma, was it? He mentioned Shogi, and then they had a fight in the forest between, I forgot her name, but like there was this girl with a flute, and they mentioned that she's using flute to control her minions, and then Shikamaru used his technique to take control of them, and this was supposed to be in relation of what's happening in Shogi, that your enemy has pieces and you can take control of them by capturing them, yeah? And in the Polish translation, it didn't make sense because they translated piece name as queen, and like using enemy pieces, like that's not a thing in chess. So this is why I like Googled it. Yeah, and here we are. My first question was, is there a queen in Japan? It was the first question that led us to this situation that we are here. Yeah. So Melkor, yeah, let's see what you played. I would really want to develop my silver here just in case. It's a good timing to do it because they don't have a fork. Because we already pushed this pawn. Normally we would push the silver, then push the pawn. Well, after moving the king in this case because his bishop line is open. Just pushing this pawn feels awkward. It's not a mistake, it's just awkward to me. Yeah, in general, we could have considered taking this bishop here to mess up with their position. But perhaps they're gonna play a weird move like this. Yeah, that might happen. Or this. We cannot immediately push, but we would develop our position. That's also something we can consider. Going for slower opening, a Joseki that we know is, of course, good. Not sure about this pawn push. This is too early. Again, Melkor is too early. Silver knight. And then probably this pawn. And optionally, we can decide then. Silver or pawn. We have the option, yeah? This is too early. Okay, so he also pushed, so this is alright, yeah. This might be tiny bit too early. We would prefer the knight to be here. But I guess it's kind of Joseki, so let's go with that. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. We're winning now. Let's not mess it up. Uh, it looks natural, but is there a better move? Is there a better move? I mean, we're wrecking their whole castle. You could also argue... No, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so we A, broke their whole castle. B, Sabaki our knight. C, we got a bishop for a silver right now. So it's huge. Now, from this position, winning, that's another story, yeah? We got the first advantage. We will need to find a way to win. Shikamaru is Shogi tactic to get a waifu, yeah. The climbing silver was much later in Shippuden, I believe. That was Shippuden. So here we cannot go too quick. We have to find a slower way to activate all of our pieces. Perhaps I like this move. Because if they take, we activate this bishop. Yeah, it kind of pushes their pawn closer to our king. Another move would be trying to make a token. Another move is how do we activate this rook type of question. Like we could try to bring it here. If they push, then we make a token. Yeah, this type of thinking, perhaps. Yeah, in this case, we can also consider doing this. Yeah, slowly widening our advantage is what we need. This is going quickly. It can be good, can be bad, depending on the situation. But eventually we're forced to like slow down, yeah? So perhaps overplay. Here, it's more important to pick up those pieces, I'd imagine. But yeah, they can escape right now. This is why we went a little bit too fast. Yes, their rook is hanging, but it doesn't mean we have to attack it immediately. Let those pieces suffer, yeah? Let them roast on the sun. That's what we wanna try to do. Similarly to what we had in the previous game, where Maple had the horse next to the king. Instead of check, take it, sometimes, running away, keeping the pressure is what we want. So this would be keep the pressure part. Yeah, Akatsuki, yeah. Do you know that Hidan and Kakuzu are names of pieces? The Hi is the rook and Kaku is the bishop. I think they explained it in the manga as well. But the whole thing was like that Shikamaru for some reason is a knight, and because knights are cool, and there is the king. They like made a mini story out of it. But I found it brilliant in a way, yeah. I mean, we're still winning. What is our plan, Melkor? What is our plan? We need a plan. We have a horse and a dragon horse. We need a plan. This is not a plan. This is a move. We need a better move. Yeah? We need a plan. Like, make a token. Get more piece advantage. Infiltrate the enemy camp. Attack the king. Attack the edge. Yeah, we need a plan here. Yeah, it's... If you learn a little bit of Japanese culture and perhaps Japanese language, like you're mind blown. You will be mind blown how many like cultural references are in Naruto. Like all the Sharingan, all the pain stuff, all of that is basically Japanese religion. Like they had this pain, had this ability to summon like the king of hell or something. That's a thing actually in Japan. So it feels like, whoa, Kishimoto created this amazing universe and everything. No. All the manga people just take it out of the Japanese folklore and Japanese culture, yeah. Similarly to what he did with Hidan and Kakuzu. I mean, that's part of their brilliance that they do so, but it's a mind blown, yeah, when you notice. Okay, we're getting closer to the king, yeah? So yeah, that's good. Sure, let's go with it. Okay, good. Plan, Melkor, plan. You need to find ideas in Shogi. Okay, basically you need to take this position and figure out what's the best way to win in it. Like, yes, you've gotten those points, you've gotten the piece advantage, so on. How do you widen your advantage? That's like type of a homework for you. You can take this position and go to the computer and see what they do. Or like play from this position, play against computer and try to win, see how they defend, or play as a defensive side, see how they expose your position. Yeah, you can do both. It might be a good practice like this. Or like take this position, yeah, like we can do the same. We can study it with the computer, not necessarily play, but study it using computer. I think it would be a good practice. If anybody else would like to know how to improve your meta game, well, that's one way to do it, yeah. Nevertheless, you kind of destroyed him. Well done. Well done. You made it seem worse than it was. All right, that was our last Kifu from the your uploads, yeah. If we want to have some manga talk, we can do that. We can spy on the Shogi ladder in the meantime. If you guys have any puzzles, like Yellow, if you have any Shogi puzzle, we can do that. And yeah, of course, if you have any question, I will be happy to answer. What do we have here? Gold, silver versus gold, silver. So we are losing one general, but we are having a bishop in hand. So we are a little bit better off as center, perhaps. But how do we break that castle is the question now that Olivandi needs to find the answer to. One idea would be to go really aggressive. I don't know if he's watching. I cannot give too many hints, probably, but one idea would be like, just go for it. Plays chill learning ladder game. When I join the chat, yeah, that's like blood rushes to the brain immediately, right? Fine, we're gonna leave them. Yeah, so the book I plan on writing. I plan on doing the maybe handicap series slowly. I don't know. Maybe not enough time to do both at the same time. We talked a little bit on the last stream that editing the book video into shorter version, more interesting version might be interesting to watch. I might try it, like see how I feel about it. Like Then the problem is, we're actually like publishing the book content, so we cannot show everything. But maybe like showing the main points, like a highlight with the main points, what we learned that chapter, would be quite cool, even if super short. As a beginner, I found it hard to get a right opening for all counters. Is there any way to learn opening systematically? You were tortured by similar problems. Static rook or swinging rook is the first question, I guess. Which one do you prefer? Static rook or swinging rook? That's the first question that a shogi player must answer. Are you Jedi or are you the Sith? You need to tell us. Then if you decided, like let's say swinging rook, yeah? In that case, you have few types of swinging rook. You have opposing rook, third file rook, fourth file rook, central rook, yeah? So you have to tell me again, which faction do you belong to? Okay, you're static, all right? So then you have to take into consideration what your opponent is playing. So if he's static or if he's swinging, what you want to do? So if he's playing static as well, do you prefer to go for more solid opening like Yagura or Gangi? Or do you prefer to go crazy like Bishop Exchange? Or perhaps you like Yoko Fudori or Aigakari? You need to decide into one of those four. Which playstyle do you enjoy? Generally, it's like Bishop Exchange or Yagura, Yoko Fudori or Aigakari. Aigakari, you just don't open the bishop line, yeah? But that might lead to Bishop Exchange, it might lead to Yagura. Yoko Fudori, so double side pound picker would be, both sides need to agree it's rare, you can deny it, so you don't have to learn it immediately. But generally, you should decide Bishop Exchange or Yagura. Yeah. They say that like learning climbing silver and stuff is a nice start for a beginner. Light cyber form of Jedi, yeah. Mégis kelmis. Right side for 5 rook. Okay, let's make it simpler. As a beginner, you should avoid crazy openings, yeah? Because it will be pain and suffering. You want to learn the castle slowly. So the first opening that a beginner should try is the climbing silver opening, I think, personally. Climbing silver. Bogin. And that would indicate that you're trying to do either double wing attack or some form of a bishop exchange. So you could start with like those two, basically. There should be a what is your Shogi personality quiz. Yeah, there should be. When we were younger, we would do like those quizzes on like those quiz websites very easily. So it could be possible to set it up very quickly. Anaguma with a K. So then we have the other side. You have static rook, and you're playing against swinging rook. Again, there are different types of swinging rook. But the general choice you have to make, do you go the dark side Anaguma, or do you go the rapid attack? The light rapid attack, the light side, yeah? Of the force. No, the guy is a bear in this video, okay. I didn't click it. So yeah, what is your style? Solid shogi? or rapid shogi. Nowadays we say that the wide shogi is a thing, so that it's going to more rapid style. Depends on what you like, yeah. Of course, if you're a beginner, you should try everything a little. No, there is Ibisha Anaguma, static rook Anaguma. It can lead into double Anaguma, but it's against Furibisha, so it's complicated. But basically, if you play static versus static, you don't play Anaguma. But we're talking about static versus swinging. And with swinging rook, they're swinging at you, so you want to run away as far as possible so you can build Anaguma. The problem with double static is they're attacking from the front, so Anaguma will be weak from the front. So don't do that in double static. Yeah, do not mix the dark side into the light side battles, if it makes sense. You will study double wing and bishop exchange. All right. I recommend to you, I don't know if you have it, Better Moves for Better Shogi. I actually have a PDF of this book. Shouldn't upload it, should I? Such an old book. It's a good book to, Ho just sent me a message. We're gonna find out some materials for you to study with. The other way is to use the Just to Get a Glance, but we don't have a good book about it. You can watch Hidechi video a little bit, but he doesn't go deep into the variation. Is there a style where you get 4 or 5 ideas and then trip yourself up without getting a single one of them right? Freestyle? Like, for example, for double static without bishop exchange, you can play Migi Gyoku. Oh, that's another story. Yeah, you can play Migi Gyoku everywhere. Migi Gyoku is like the rear steep, I guess. Yeah, so if you click that link, I guess it leads to Hidechi videos. And you have double wing attack immediately on the list. And he will teach you some basics. So you could start with that. And then we had bishop exchange, which we did some streams about it. It's very complicated, but you can see some Hidechi videos. The problem is those are outdated. Any information you will find about bishop exchange online will be outdated. Everything, because it changed so much recently. But it's still a good basics to learn those, yeah. Because it's based, the new knowledge is based on this old knowledge. Wolololo. CEO style Migyoku. SSM. Ishida style Luke Skywalker. Skywalker style Ishida would make more sense in Japanese, I guess. No! This one was better. Alright, guys. I'm gonna finish early. I'm gonna see you next week. I'm not making promises, okay? Thursday we do have a book stream. Let me check something quickly. Yeah, normal. Okay, in 2 weeks is what is gonna become complicated. But Thursday we have book stream. I recommend to you because it talks about very practical things. Thursday. Did I say Thursday? Did I say Saturday? Thursday book stream has a lot of practical stuff. Saturday we recently do crazy stuff, so I cannot promise anything. Sunday we do again Kifu review. Wednesday I might stream book writing again if I'm bored. We're gonna see. And of course, this is our Discord. If you'd like to join, we have a nice tournament going. The season is going to end soon. I just have to summarize all the results, and we have to set up the pro games. It's gonna be fun. New season will start after that, so if you'd like to join, it's the perfect timing to do so. I punched the microphone, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye bye.